So this lesson again focuses on the context of To Kill a Mockingbird, getting the kids to understand the context of what's happening during that time period, the social and the cultural and the legal context of what was happening back then. Yep. So I thought this activity allows them to think about it, to think about the issues back then. So the learning outcome is again trying to understand what was happening during that time period. We're doing the Jim Crow law. Some of them are familiar with it, some are not. But it's so important to understand what were some of the laws that were happening and how it was impacting the people back then. And then of course, bringing that in when we start to read To Kill a Mockingbird and how it affected the characters. So a lot of what I want them to do is to just look at the law, summarize what they understand the law to be. They're going to ask a question. So they're doing it in a group. So I will be walking around just to assess their progress and checking to see if they understand the assignment. And then after that, each group will then present what their understanding is of that particular law, and that would be for me to see if they understood it. We can have a discussion if not, but that would be the check for understanding. So I do tell them, just to remind them of our, respect, and when someone's speaking, we need to be listening. Just those basic rules, because I can see it where they're going to get really involved with the law. They're going to have a lot of comments. They're going to have a lot of reaction, and that's fine. And I think that, once that is encouraged, but they know their boundaries of, being inappropriate, I think then the lesson will be fine. I will allow that, having those reactions. Yes, there will be outbursts because of their reaction to it, and that to me is a sign of engagement anyway. I think the end question that I want them to think about after we look at all the different laws is, if you lived in that time period, which law do you think would impact you the most and why? And I think that allows them to really put themselves in that situation and really empathize with the people who lived go through that law. Yeah. So engaging in a way where they're going to be working in groups. This could be done where they're just looking at a bunch of laws, 36 laws, looking at it, coming up with ideas, but having them talk about it. Each student will get one law to really look at it, summarize it, ask a question. And so having them just focus on that one law allows them to be a little bit more intimate and try to understand it, to engage a little bit more. And just focus on that, and then they come together as a group to discuss their laws, and then we come back as a whole group to discuss all of the laws. So the way I'm doing this activity obviously is basing it on their own personal experience, just again the human nature of things. They don't need to know a lot of background information in order for them to make a connection or just to understand what someone would go through. So in that sense, it is meaningful that they're putting themselves into that time setting, although it just seems so far-fetched. But they're still human, so it allows them to think about, again, what could someone feel if they were actually in this time period and this law was actually enforced.